Hi everyone, I'm back with another doll transformation. So, do you remember my phoenix? Oh, check her out. I made a lot of fire there and I knew I always wanted to do more figurines with fire or something like that. And my previous custom was of course my beautiful poison ivy. Check her out. And I wanted to do another villain because I had a second lampshade that was also perfect for such a figurine. So the decision to make Scarlet Witch was quickly made. I chose this doll, not sure who this is, but she was covered in stains, so perfect for this project. As always, I start by preparing the head by cutting the hair as short as possible. Removing her head with some heat. Removing all the hair from the inside. No glue this time. Removing the paint from the face. And putting her head in a mixture of 90% acetone and 10% water for 2 days. I strained the previous mixture through a coffee filter. I hope I can use it more often this way. And then I let her dry for 2 days. So the base is a lampshade, a little one, and Scarlet Witch is a very strong superhero who can do something with electricity. So I'm going to try to make something like that with what I have at home. I still have that polymorph that I haven't tried yet. And I have these white grains that will be about the same as the polymorph. The granules soften in hot water and then you can sculpt with them. But I also tried something with hot glue and I have silicone sealant at home. I'm going to try that too. And I gave everything a layer of acrylic paint to see if it was suitable. I also had some 3D paint, see if that works. Almost empty. Time to try out the polymorph. Ordinary hot water from the tap didn't work, so I turned on the kettle. Then be careful not to burn your hands, it's hot. And unfortunately, it cooled down very quickly. You don't have much time to make something of it. Yet something has succeeded. Occasionally heating the pieces again helped. And sometimes a quick cooling down is useful. And I also tested the white granules. I had already used it to make a temporary mold one time, but I think this stuff is getting too hard for that. Hopefully I can use it here. And when it gets hot, the grains become transparent, but as soon as it cools down, which takes a lot longer than with the polymorph, everything turns white again. So it's nice that you have the time to sculpt, but for this project I didn't find the opacity useful. Most 3D paints were unsuccessful, neither is the silicone sealant. The hot glue was okay, but not for this project. I only found the 3D paint with the glitter useful, besides the polymorph grains. So back to my girl. I think the 2 days of soaking and the 2 days of drying was enough. She looks great. Not all the stains were gone, but that's okay. I will paint her anyway. So I nipped and tucked everything to get her head back on. Don't forget to warm her head. It makes the putting it back much easier. Her body got sanded and cuts here and there, so I can give her a nice pose. Sometimes it only takes a few millimeters to make a big difference. I gave her a reverse fat reduction on her legs with air dry clay. They were too skinny. And I glued everything in place with super glue and hot glue. You can also sculpt a bit with the hot glue. And she got some bigger boobs and a booty. Love it so far. Remember my silicone mixture with the cornstarch? I made the teeth from for Ivy. They remain flexible. And the glue mixture with the baking soda also stays a bit flexible, but less. And that's why I made her some high heels with this stuff. You can see it later. Maybe I could have edited a bit better, but okay, next time. So the silicone really didn't dry properly. It was a no-no. And the other paints also. No. Only this glitter paint I could use. I gave it all some layers of UV resin to harden it and to give it some more shine. I also put some mica powders in there. The glitter paint was very easy to get some resin on there. The polymorph was trickier. I should have known. Resin gets hot when curing. Polymorph gets soft when it's hot. So I had to be careful and patient. Time to do something with the base. I wanted my witch to hover, so I wanted the base to be transparent. I did that with UV resin, but she needs something to hold on to, otherwise she will fall. So I put a wire underneath and hoping I can cover it up later. Oh, and when you try things like sanding and drilling, especially in resin, please wear a proper mask. It's so unhealthy for your lungs. So her body got some layers of gesso. Her face I did with watered down gesso. I gave her some boots with my white glue and BS mixture. And she got some kind of a top too. When all that was drying, I continued with all her electricity. I wanted her to shoot it out of her hands. In the pictures at the beginning of this video, you see how it's already been done. But I didn't want it like that. I had to figure something out for myself. I tried some round thingies, but the first try I didn't like. But the second one I hated also. I have to think about it some more. So back to my girl. I outlined her clothes lines and tried to give it some texture with my 3D pen I got from my son, remember? I used it on my snake guardian. I still have to practice this a lot, but I could smooth the lines out with my hot glue gun and later with some paint. My black acrylic is old. Hopefully I can still use it. Her face got again some watered down acrylic paint and her body all over a few layers of regular paint. I love it so far. I love the combo in the darker reds. I knew already her hair is gonna be brighter. By this time I thought she would be a bit dull, or she isn't, but the overall project. Only some electricity and a doll on a stand? Maybe this superhero needs a cape. I didn't want that for her, but I also didn't want to make a jacket like in one of the photos. Although I prefer that over a cape any day. It looks more real to me. But I had to cave and make her a cape anyway. This project needs it, I thought. So I bent some wire in shape, covered it in polymer clay and baked it in stages. It wasn't very successful. It broke all over the place. I mended it with baking soda and super glue. Bake it first, please. And baked it some more, but it was ugly. It was ugly. But I persisted. I gave it some strength with the glue and the BS mixture. Smoothed everything out. And when this was drying, I gave Scarlet some soft pastels. A few layers because the MSC dulls it down, I noticed. I did her face off camera. You know by now why. Maybe someday I will feel confident enough. I made hair wefts from bright red, the only red I had, but I painted it with intense pencils from Derwent. On camera the difference is barely visible, but it's darker now and I love it. I guess it's time to put her in her place. I fixed her with superglue and UV resin. I put all her electricity bits around her. I already told you I didn't like the first 2 tries, so I tried something else. I had some leftover resin on my baking paper and cured that into a round bottle cap. Also, a silicone finger thingy worked well. And I liked it. And I love her so far. Meanwhile, I had a cape to finish. I painted it with acrylic, but when it was done, I hated it on her. Only when I glued it on, it could stay in place. And for the first time, I wanted to make it detachable. So I, or maybe someone who buys it, could choose it with or without. But that was impossible now. For now, I will leave it off. I fixed her hair and I call it done. But I really could use your input on this. Should I glue it on anyway or leave her like this? Personally, I love how she turned out and actually don't like the execution of the cape. I must do a better one. But do you miss a hero cape on her? You can leave all your comments down below. I really love to hear your thoughts and I read it all. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would truly help my channel. I hope to see you next time.